The WNBA is suddenly scrambling after Team USA rolled out a major announcement surrounding Caitlin Clark. And trust me, this one shifts everything. Buckle in because yes, it's real and the league is rattled. Honestly, it felt like this moment was coming. For months, the WNBA acted as if Caitlin weren't a legitimate franchise-changing force, all while the officiating has been pure chaos. But now, in a recent interview, Sue Bird unleashed a truth bomb that nobody saw coming, and it's not a flattering moment for the league. What she revealed might be the WNBA's worst-case scenario finally taking shape, and the fallout is already in motion. Stay locked in, because we're breaking down exactly why panic is spreading through the WNBA right now. Caitlin Clark on the Olympic team right now.
Caitlin Clark on the Olympic team?
Right now?
No, no. This past Olympic team.
I knew you were going to ask this question. Honestly, I have to just say that I respected the committee's job. I understood what was at play. I understood the pros and the cons, I guess, if you want to lay it out that way. And I think at the end of the day, it's hard to criticize a gold medal. A lot of people see the final game against France. They see, only winning by a couple points, and they view that as some sort of indicator. But the reality is we've been having close games at the Olympics for years. I can attest to that. So that wasn't really that new. Winning a close game like that wasn't new. That didn't have anything to do.
If you somehow managed to dodge all the recent noise, here's the rundown. The WNBA is deep in meltdown mode. Why? Because Team USA just made a decision that could reshape the entire direction of the sport. Right now, Sue Bird is stepping in as the managing director. Yes, the same legendary figure who reads the game better than nearly everyone working inside the league combined. And her next move has everyone uneasy. Reports say Sue is preparing to give Caitlin Clark the very opportunity she was denied last year, and this single choice could tilt the entire league upside down. The WNBA is bracing for a huge shift, and the shock waves have already started.
The beauty of USA Basketball and what we have going in this country is all the talent, and that's always been the case. So I kind of just don't want to mess it up.
Yeah.
I think that's how I'm coming in. But I know being a player, bringing that perspective, it's going to make my ability to support this team unique.
Our hooligans, Cheryl Reeves included, so full of themselves, so bound by tribalism that they just couldn't look past their own nose. And at the end of the day,
the WNBA has a long pattern of making questionable decisions and then acting as though none of it ever happened. But Sue Bird isn't letting this one slide, especially not when it comes to Caitlin Clark, who was overlooked last year despite being one of the most naturally gifted players alive. Caitlin's talent highlighted the league's shortcomings, and now, with Sue leading the charge, she's practically guaranteed a spot with Team USA. With Bird making the calls, the WNBA can only watch as Caitlin steps onto the world stage and dominates. And they know it's going to be incredible. The player who reignited college basketball is finally getting the recognition she earned, and honestly, it's been overdue for far too long.
Cheryl Reeves, head coach of the USA women's basketball team, has also been getting a little bit of backlash, right? Yeah. And now she's decided to make her X profile private. This is kind of the still same realm of what we're talking about, Dan.
Well, you're supposed to be above it. I always felt like, as a coach, I got to watch everything because I got to lead. And whether it was going into a team meeting, I wanted to be prepared. If I was having a meeting with a parent, I wanted to be prepared.
Let's be honest. Caitlin Clark endured the classic WNBA treatment last year, ignored and brushed aside. Even with her massive star power, she was left off Team USA, and everyone knew it didn't add up. But now, with Sue Bird directing things, everything is about to get a lot more interesting. It's nearly certain that Caitlin will be selected this time, and honestly, it already feels like it's set in stone. The league is being forced to face the truth. Caitlin isn't just good, she's a once-in-a-generation kind of talent. And maybe, just maybe, overlooking her was the biggest mistake they've made. Before we move forward, Let's rewind for a moment.
Controversial, the most talked about story of the 2024 season. You want to know? You want me to tell you? Okay, I'll tell you. It was Caitlin Clark being snubbed from the Olympics. Yes, that story, that headline that had Stephen A. Smith talking, that had everybody and their mama talking. And what's crazy about it, we all remember the storyline. Diana Taurasi got to get her 6th medal to make history, and then ultimately she got benched. She got benched. Now, what if I was to tell you that the WNBA made it their business to clean house? What did I tell y'all at the beginning of this offseason going into this preseason? Kathy Engelberg is going to get rid of everybody that wronged Caitlin.
For years, the WNBA, a league that prides itself on professionalism, has made some truly puzzling choices. Instead of spotlighting their brightest stars, they kept drifting toward unnecessary drama and constant officiating disasters, pushing actual talent into the background. And speaking of officials, the refereeing has been an ongoing disaster. Half the time it felt like they barely understood what a foul was, unless it involved their preferred player. Caitlin Clark experienced this firsthand last season, struggling to get a fair whistle. At times, it almost looked like the officials pretended she wasn't even on the court. And if the league acts like she doesn't exist, why would the foul calls be any different?
Expected to be announced as the managing director for the USA women's national team for the 2028 Olympic cycle. She will take on what is known as the Grant Hill role, selecting player rosters and coaching staff. And for those of you who aren't too familiar with the WNBA or the women's side of Team USA, and Grant Hill's a little bit new in this role, Jerry Colangelo role.
Wonder who they're going to pick as the coach, because obviously she's UConn. Who's she going to pick for the players? Like, there is going to probably be some UConn freaking bias here with Sue Bird, but of all the UConn people, she's the least likely to have full-on UConn derangement level bias. Like, there's definitely going to be some UConn bias, but like, I don't think it's going to be like derangement level from her.
When Team USA's final roster dropped, the shock hit instantly. Caitlin Clark, fresh off a college season that could have earned her an MVP trophy, didn't make the list. Fans were stunned. How could she possibly be left off? Was it a mistake, a bizarre oversight, or just another example of the WNBA acting like their most electrifying player wasn't real? The league tried to justify the move with weak excuses, claiming concerns about chemistry, but everyone knew the truth. They weren't prepared for the attention, pressure, and spotlight Caitlin would generate after turning college basketball into a viral spectacle every night. The heat was too much, and they dodged it.
Sue Bird won 4 WNBA championships. She was an All-Star 13 times, one of the more decorated basketball players in history, and also 5-time Olympic gold medalist, just named USA Basketball Women's National Team Managing Director. That's a hell of a title there. Is that on your business card? And what exactly does that mean, Sue?
Need like a business index card at this point or whatever.
Now fast forward to today, where Team USA has officially hit the reset button, and leading the charge is none other than Sue Bird. Yes, that's Sue Bird, the multi-time champion, the basketball mastermind, the person who understands winning better than nearly anyone in the sport. She's stepping into the managing director role. And let's be completely honest, if you think she's leaving Caitlin Clark off the roster again, you might want to check your pulse. Sue is building a roster designed to dominate on the international stage, and she isn't here to tiptoe around egos, opinions, or league politics. Her mission is simple: assemble the strongest team possible and ignore whoever gets uncomfortable along the way.
The best point guard was the best point guard on Team USA or for America was Chelsea Gray. At that stage, I'm guessing Skylar Diggins was second best, but if you're looking right here, what point guard did they bring? They brought Chelsea Gray. They brought Sue Bird. Who was the starting point guard? Sue Bird. Sue Bird started at the 1 because it didn't matter. Is she better than Chelsea Gray? No. just like in 2024, I'd say they felt bad that Chelsea Gray was by far the best point guard in the W.
When the WNBA had the chance to secure Caitlin Clark, they botched it like a bad draft pick and let her slip away. Now she has become the face of nearly every highlight reel in sports, whilst a bird watches closely, fully aware that the league let a generational superstar walk without giving her proper respect. The WNBA is scrambling to fix its image, and the panic doesn't stop there. Let's not forget the officiating. The same referees who acted as though Caitlin was competing against ghosts every time she was hacked with no whistle in sight. And now, reality is catching up. The very player they dismissed is about to shine on a global stage. Once Sue Bird makes her decision official, everything shifts, and the WNBA will finally have to face the consequences of their earlier choices.
Sue Bird won 4 WNBA championships. She was an All-Star 13 times, one of the more decorated basketball players in history, and also 5-time Olympic gold medalist, just named USA Basketball Women's National Team Managing Director. That's a hell of a title there. Is that on your business card? And what exactly is that?
If the WNBA were filmed like a reality show, the referees would easily be the villains everyone tunes in to despise. It's almost like they had some secret agreement with the universe to make Caitlin Clark's path as difficult as possible. Half the time it felt like they were auditioning for a comedy act, with their main routine being, pretend Caitlin is invisible. She'd take off with the ball, fly past defenders like she was rocket-powered, get clobbered in midair, and what did the refs do? A slow blink, just blink, as if absolutely nothing happened. At this point, if every missed call had a sound effect, the arena would be filled with nothing but cricket noises. Seriously, where were the whistles? Locked away somewhere, stuffed in a sock drawer? You couldn't script something this ridiculous. Caitlin was basically in full superhero mode, while the officials operated in some alternate dimension where fouls simply didn't exist. The only thing she was missing was an actual cape, because she was already doing everything else.